I do the same.
Recording. Good. I love seeing those words. Recording. Guys, I want to welcome you. Today is March the 7th. And this is Danielle Melanson. I'm the very proud leader of Team Inspire, and we are based out of Nova Scotia, Canada. We are all over North America and the UK, and today is not just any other day. It's just not a team call. We're just not going to be talking about whatever, right? Our stuff. We are going to be hearing from Kristi Curtis, right? It's Kristi Kronser?
Yeah, good job.
Okay,
yeah.
Hilarious, because I'm following up with Kristi to see, because she had promised to do a team call for us. So awesome to take this time away from her busy schedule, and you'll know why when I share her accolades. And I kept saying, Kristi, I kept searching Kristi Curtis, because when I met Kristi, she was Kristi Curtis on Facebook, and it wouldn't come up. And then I was like, Danielle, hello, her husband's last name. So first of all, guys, she's joining us today from California. So she lives in Homewood, California. Now, some of these people that you're seeing, these beautiful faces in front of you, these gorgeous souls, some of them have been in the business for 4 years, 5 years like me. Some have been in this business for 5 days. Okay, so awesome. I know Kristi's, like, her eyes light up because we just love new coaches, right? So some of the new coaches might not understand what I'm going to tell you about Kristi, but I'm going to tell you she's a big freaking deal. Okay, she's a big freaking deal. She's a 15-star diamond coach. No, hold it. She is a 15-star plus a 5-star diamond coach. No, not done. 15-star. 5-star, 3-star, 1-star, and even her husband's business center is 1-star. So a lot of, like, we're talking about signing up your spouses and how that's, people are like, as new coaches all the time. So that just goes to show even her husband is 1-star in a business center. He is a 6-time elite coach. She is an executive leader in the leadership ladder. She is a member of the Millionaires Club, okay? She is a Success Club legend 7 years in a row. And her 7-year anniversary is in April. So that goes to show you how important it is. Obviously, we should have started there with the Success Club, right? She is absolutely awesome. She's a dog mom, a wife, she's a daughter, she's an aunt, and she's even a figure competitor, okay? And I met Kristi for the first time in Disney. It was my very first. I was just a brand new coach 3 months. It was my first Success Club. She was there as a 2-star, and she didn't know, she was just kind of, you know, she didn't know anybody there. She was there by herself. And of course, once you hear from her and know her energy, you'll know why I instantly total girl fan and stalk her all the time. Okay, with further ado, I'm going to pass it over to you, Kristi, and thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And when she shares all that, I'm going to go and like take myself off that pedestal because it sounds like super crazy and super awesome. But really, I'm just like anybody else. We all have crap. And so I'm going to do a very brief overview of my story because I have a lot of other things I want to get to. But just so you know a little bit about me and who I am, where I come from. So growing up, we were wealthy. We were wealthy until the age of 8, and I lost everything. I watched my grandparents and my grandfather and my grandmother and my dad beat my mom up in front of me. And my mom had to leave because she had bruises all over her body. And she was afraid that if she didn't leave, that she wouldn't survive. And in that time, my brother and I, they hit us. They wouldn't allow us to see her. It was just a miserable time. But we lost everything. My dad, when my parents divorced, my mom left, obviously. They got a divorce, and he decided that he didn't want to have to pay her child support. So back then, this was in the early 90s, and he was going to have to pay $5,000 a month in child support because we were wealthy. And that was what my mom needed at that time to live a normal life and have children. And so my dad sold everything. He moved out of state, moved to Oregon. He left us and we moved into low-income apartments. We had to get rid of all of our boxer dogs. If you follow me, I have 2 boxer puppies because that was my dream, to get a house and to have dogs and have my puppies again, because we were literally, I was 8 years old, kicking and screaming as they took our dogs away from us, as they took my horses away from me. It still makes me cry. Sorry. I always say I'm not going to cry. But as a child, I just saw the positive in everything as we were losing everything. I told my mom, it's okay, Mom. We get to move into town. We're not living in the country anymore, away from everybody else. We get to be in town, and I get to be close to my friends. And I just saw the positive in everything. But every night I would hear her cry herself to sleep. And one night I came home from school and I said, Mom, I played soccer. There's a soccer tournament. It's $5 for the soccer tournament. Can I have $5? And she looked at me and she said, Kristi, I don't have $5 for that soccer tournament. And I heard her cry herself to sleep that night. And I knew it was because of me, because she felt so awful that she couldn't give me that $5. And I never asked for money again because I didn't want her to think that she wasn't enough for us, because she is such a beautiful mom. She is so amazing. I love her so much. And her love was enough. Her support was enough. We had a roof over our heads. We had food. We never went without. And she worked. She went back to work after my dad left. She was a stay-at-home mom. She went back to work full time. She worked long hours. She wasn't there. And anyways, got through school, graduated salutatorian of high school, went off to college, paid for my college, was taking on student loan debt. And my second year in college, this happy person who's always seen the positive side, my dad left. I always saw like everything as, how people say, take your mess and use it as a message, right? Or take your adversity and make it your advantage. I always saw my adversity as an advantage. Like, I'm going to overcome and prove to people that you can do this. In my second year in college, something changed, something drastic. I put on 30 pounds in a matter of 2 months. I went from, I played sports, but then sports were taken away. I didn't really know what fitness and nutrition were. I just knew being an athlete. And I became really depressed. I couldn't get out of bed. I would eat a box of cereal. I would eat 6 donuts, large donuts in a row, and then go back to bed. I went from being a 4.0 student in college to not showing up to class. And I called my mom one day and I said, Mom, I don't want to scare you. I will never do this because I will never put you through pain. But if it weren't for you, I would take my life today. I don't have a reason to live, but I wouldn't want you to have to cry yourself to sleep tonight because of me. And so that period in my life was such a dark moment, and I never thought that I would see joy again. I never thought that I would see happiness again. And I had a friend, and this is where fitness comes into my life. I had a friend I had just met. He was a friend of one of my roommates. They came in one day, and I was sitting there eating 6 donuts, and I'm not kidding. I was eating 6 donuts. And he said to me, like, hey, let's do this sprint triathlon on Catalina Island. Catalina Island's an island off of California, Southern California. And it's in the ocean. We're going to swim out around the pier, and we're going to bike up the mountain, and we're going to run. And I was like, well, I don't know how to swim. I haven't been on a bike since I was 8, but I know I could run. I could probably run. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And he came every day to get me out of bed, to ensure that I did a workout that day, to ensure that I swam. And my first time getting in the pool was 4 laps in a pool. If you follow my journey now, everybody thinks I've always been fit. That wasn't the case. I remember taking pictures of me crossing the finish line, and I could see the rolls hanging out of my little bike shorts and thinking, oh my gosh, that's disgusting. But when I crossed that finish line, I was dead last. First, I was dead last out of the water on the swim. An 80-year-old beat me. If you follow my fitness journey, you would not think that, but I was dead last. But when I crossed that finish line, for the first time, I was like, oh my goodness, I feel happiness. I feel joy. I was crying when I crossed the finish line from like tears of joy. And in that moment, I knew that I could find happiness again. I didn't know how. I didn't know how long it was going to take. I didn't know if it was just going to be these random moments, but I could find it. And so fitness and nutrition happened to me by accident through this friend inviting me to do a triathlon. Later on, I went to complete an Ironman triathlon 6 years later, 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, 26.2 mile run. And I share that all with you because wherever you're at in your fitness journey, wherever you're at in your coaching journey, whether you're just starting out today or you've been doing it for 4 to 5 years, if you're showing up and taking action, it compounds on itself. We have all probably read The Compound Effect, heard of it. If you're a brand new coach, you haven't yet, but you will. But it compounds on itself. And I didn't know that all of these choices I was making in the moment was going to create this life 12, 13, 14 years down the road that would just be unimaginable at that moment. So it took about 3 years for me to overcome my depression and see joy again and happiness again. I hated fitness. Every workout was miserable. Now I don't know how to take a day off, but back then I wanted to take every day off. And graduated college, went from being a 4.0 student to just getting out. I just wanted to get out. And I went into finance. I worked in the financial industry, and I could tell that I was losing kind of that purpose and fulfillment. I was still training for Ironmans, and I came across this opportunity. And it was kind of by accident. I was looking actually to get back into serving. I was going to go back and get a serving job to earn some extra income. I couldn't afford, even as a financial advisor, to pay off all my student loans. They were really high. But I was like, how cool would it be to help people in fitness and earn some extra income to pay off these student loans without a boss? Yes, please, let's do this. Even if it's just a little bit extra. My first month in the business, I remember looking at my coach office and thinking everything says 0. Who am I to think that I'll ever be successful at this? And I almost sent in my coach cancellation. That would have been the biggest mistake of my life. And as I say that, it pains me to think of everybody who quits and gives up on themselves before they ever try, because my success wasn't fast. Danielle just rattled off a bunch of amazing things, right? But I didn't see that success fast. When she met me, I was a 2-star diamond coach. I didn't have any of that success to speak of. 2 stars, great and all. It was a great milestone. I was proud of myself for accomplishing that. But that's far from 15-star. And that hurts me. It hurts me when people give up, because I almost did. I almost said, how am I going to make this happen? And then I realized, wait, if I show up and take care of my health, if I show up and invite other people to join me, and maybe it's just 1 or 2 people in the beginning, but every month I figure out a little bit more how to talk with people, how to have better conversations, how to empower people, how to inspire them. And then it's 3 people, and then it's 4, and then it's 5. I can do that. I might not be the fastest, but I will outwork people over the long haul. And I knew that. I was like, I'll be here. Give me 5 years. We overestimate what we can do in 1 year, but we underestimate what we can do in 10. And I knew I'm like, I'll show up and do whatever they tell me to do, whatever those basics are that we're supposed to do, those vital behaviors, I'll do them. And it took me about 1.5 years, and I was able to leave my full-time job. And at that point, I think it was by around 2 years, my part-time income with Beachbody had doubled what any boss had ever paid me by year 2. So pretty exciting. My first year, Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income. My first year, I made $6,000. My first year, $6,000. Not something that you would be like, that girl's going to earn millions, right? But I literally just continued to show up and build. I didn't compare myself to others and how fast they were growing or how slow they were growing. It was me and my journey, because I knew from the beginning, it was me and my journey overcoming depression. It was me and my journey. When I was dead last out of the water, when that 80-year-old beat me and literally I was the last person, nobody else was slower than me, I wasn't upset. I got out of that water and was so freaking proud, because before that race, I had never been in the ocean and I thought a shark was going to get me. So the fact that I made it out of the water alive and finished that, I was so excited and so proud. And I want you guys to think of this business this journey that you're on in the same way. Like, be so proud of how far you've come. Don't let someone else who's further along take that away from you. And it's not them that's taking it away. It's you that it's allowing someone else to take it away from you. And there was this personal development book. Side note, I have things that I want to get to, but this is another thing that I just have to talk about. And in the book, it's called Real Leadership: 9 Simple Practices for Living and Leading with Purpose. And he talks about how on his first day of college, he sat down and the person in front of him raised his hand and said, hey, professor, can I get the syllabus? And he went back to his room and he's like, I'm not supposed to be here. I don't even know what a syllabus is. And he called his parents. He's like, I think I should quit on this whole college thing. This isn't going to work out. This isn't for me. These people are way above my league. I have no idea what I'm doing here. And he almost gave up, and his parents are like, no, you need to finish the semester out and then we can talk. You need to go through, give it your all, and then we can talk. And at the end of the semester, he looked forward at the girl's paper, and she had got a D in the class, and he got an A-. He almost gave up on going to college because somebody else knew what a syllabus is. And when I say that, it sounds so small, but we all do that. We all look at somebody else and say, well, they're faster than us. They know a little bit more than us. This is our journey. So, okay, I'm going to get into my tips that I have for you guys today. These are my top 5 tips. And what really, in my opinion, if you follow these things, you're going to be successful. Number 1, be you. And when people say be you, it used to always drive me crazy because they're like, be you. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. We think that we should know what that means. But when people said be you, I didn't get it, right? I'd say be you, and then I'd go out and I'd follow everybody else on social media to try to figure out what they were posting about. I needed to post like them and them and them. And then I realized what be you means. And what be you means is, those thoughts that you tell yourself when you're working out? Like, oh, I suck. This workout's just, I hate this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to do it because I told them I was going to show up for it. You post about that. That's you. That's the real you. When you walk in the door, I remember when I was a new coach, I'd walk in the door after work and I would tell my husband, oh my goodness, I got a new coach today. I'm so excited. They just signed up with me. These were their goals and I'm going to run with them. And I'm like, wait, why am I not sharing that on social media? I'm excited about that. I need to share that part of my journey. That's me. I remember my first summit, I was so terrified. I was so terrified because everybody had fancy dresses and I didn't. And then I realized by my second summit, I was like, I'm wearing the same dresses that were in my closet last year to this summit. I'm on year 7 this year of summits. And I'm going to be wearing the same dresses I wore last year because that's just me. I don't want to go spend money on dresses. And so I post about that because that's me. I'm frugal. I want to spend my money on fitness and nutrition and investments because finance is my jam. I don't want to spend my money on new clothes. There's nothing wrong with those of you that do. I think it's so awesome. I look at your clothes and I'm like, I wish I had style. But my style is Lululemon and Nikes. That's where my comfort space is, right? I post about that. Those things that are so normal in our heads that we're like, oh, I like this, but I don't like this. That's you. I hate quick fixes. I don't want to cuss because I don't know if it would offend somebody, but I have a potty mouth and I fucking hate quick fixes because they just drive me crazy. And it drives me crazy because I tried every single one of them. When I was depressed, I tried a patch on my arm. I tried fat burners multiple times a day. I tried starving myself and then I would binge. The starving myself never worked out because I would just go right into binging. I tried all of it. I know. And then when I went to the doctor, and they did some tests through my depression. They did blood work, and my organs were acting like that of an alcoholic. I was killing my body because of those quick fixes. And so I hate them. I post about that. You'll see me get fired up. When somebody pisses me off, I post about it. When someone behind the scenes tells me they don't have enough time, I go live and tell my story about how I worked full-time 40 hours a week and 20 hours a week on Ironman training and building this business in the cracks in my day. I use the things that piss me off, to talk about them. That's what being you means. What are those things that fire you up? And if you don't know that now, that's okay. Because I will tell you, as a brand new coach, I had no idea. But one thing that I've learned is that all high performance habits is Brendan Burchard, best damn book ever. I've gone to his live coaching event, and his live coaching event changed my business. The year that I went to his live coaching event, I had 15 new personally sponsored diamonds on my team. Yeah, that book is amazing. The year before, I was year four or five into my business, I had 2 personally sponsored diamond coaches. 5 years in, 2 personally sponsored diamond coaches. 6 years in, over 15 personally sponsored diamond coaches. And really, I look at it, and his live event, number 1, changed. Number 2, the other thing that changed was I stayed positive on just trying to figure it out. And that's like what he teaches, believe in your ability to figure it out. So when it comes to being you, it takes time and confidence. But once you figure that out, once you figure out how to be confident in you, that is what all high performers do. They have so much clarity around who they are and what their values are and what they stand for. And it doesn't matter if somebody else stands for something different. That's not a threat to them, because your adversity is your advantage. So number 1, be you. Number 2, action. You're going to hear action all the time. People are going to say, take action, take action. When I say take action, I want you to focus on action, not the expectation of the outcome that you're going after. Take action for the person that you'll become in the process. Take action. Create content consistently. I was just leading my own team call right before this one, and something somebody said was, I don't really know what to post on social media. Create content consistently. It's okay. I still have days I don't know what to post. I'll go and look at other people's posts and be like, oh yeah, I feel the same way. I'm going to go post about that. That's okay. That's okay to do. There's nothing wrong with that. But you need to create content consistently. You need to consistently take action on your fitness and nutrition goals. That doesn't mean you need to be perfect, but you do need to challenge yourself. How many, when 80-Day Obsession came out, said, yeah, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to cheat on the nutrition plan? Come on, raise your hands. How many said that? I see you. I had a lot of coaches do that. And so you know what I did? I said, guys, I'm taking 10 of you. We're going all in. We're doing a business boot camp. We're doing a nutrition, fitness, like 80-Day Obsession business boot camp, basically. We're going to follow the program to a T. We're going to take our results and our business goals up a notch. We're going to do this together. These were people who had never followed a nutrition plan, and they are star diamond coaches on my team. You want to know what's happened? They're seeing abs. They're like, Kristi, I just thought you were like some unicorn that has abs, and I'm seeing abs. Like, this is amazing. So when I say action consistently, you need to challenge yourself consistently. That thing when you say, I can't follow that nutrition plan, that's a limiting belief. It is. It's a limiting belief. And when you overcome that, you're like, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. I can do so much more than I ever dreamed possible. And that's what these coaches are doing. They've been in this for 2 to 3 years. They're still taking action consistently. The other thing, so fitness, nutrition, mindset. How many people, when life gets tough, when life gets overwhelming, put their personal development on the back burner? It's okay. I've done it. Awesome. Thanks you guys for being so honest. I do it. And you want to know what my toughest year in this business was? 2017. And do you want to know what I skimped out on the most? Personal development. Because I thought I had it all together. I didn't. I have so much more growth myself, and I know that, but I just got kind of lazy. I was doing everything else. I was taking action on everything else. It wasn't a bad year. I earned the same amount in 2017 I earned in 2016. But that wasn't my goal. My goal was to grow. When I look at that year, I'm like, hell yes, I am so glad that year happened to me, because I needed a kick in my ass. When I looked at that year and it didn't grow as expected, it didn't get to where I wanted it to go, the only person I can blame is me. There's nobody else. One of the personal development books that I read recently says that your income will never outgrow your personal growth. And if it does, your income will drop back down to meet where your personal growth is. And so I was like, I love that, because let's grow. Let's grow. Let's grow in fitness and nutrition and mindset. Let's become happier, healthier, more joyful human beings and get paid for it. Heck yes, bring on the personal development. Do not skimp on that. So I made a goal. I made a plan for my personal development this year. 1 book a week. Is it challenging? Heck yes, it is. But it has been amazing because every book that I'm reading, I'm like, oh my gosh, this person needs it. And this is how I'm going to apply it to my life. And I'm able to help so many more people. It's been amazing. Action, invite consistently. And I've seen a lot of people put inviting and growing their network on the back burner. Lots of people. We're talking top 10 coach people putting inviting and growing their network on the back burner. And then they lose confidence. It's confidence they once had. There's 15-star diamond leaders and you think they should have it all together. They stopped doing those things because people were just coming to them. Now they don't know how to do them. They don't know how to train people on them, and they've lost confidence and they're having to rebuild that. There's nothing wrong. That's our journey. But whatever struggle you're going through, if you're taking action consistently, you're going to figure it out, and they're going to be able to turn around and help more people. Action is key. Whenever I'm feeling crappy, it's because I'm not taking action on all of the behaviors equally. Post to social, take care of your health and your mindset, invite people. Do those things consistently. Number 3, go for no. And I always put this one in here because I don't want you focused on the expectation of yes. This isn't about you. When you go out there and you're inviting somebody else to join you, this might not be what they need right now. But I want you to invite them anyways because they don't know what you have to offer if you don't let them know what you have to offer. And most of the coaches I have signing up with me right now this year are people that said no to me in 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. Every single one of them. But you want to know what's so exciting? It's because when I invited them, they continue to watch my journey. They've continued to watch those posts that I put out there, those BU posts where I'm just like, I hate that people do this and this is what I love. They've been able to fall in love with me. They've been able to build faith and trust in me, not in somebody else. So now when they get started, they know my language. They know who I am. They've been watching the journey. They're all in. It doesn't matter if it takes them 2 months for their first customer. They're in because I went for no early on. I challenged my team today in a live video to go for 15 no's today. And I had a brand new coach who has had no success whatsoever. She's been inviting for 6 weeks. She has not had one person say yes. She's like, all right, I'm going to go do it. She's like, I was so prepared, Kristi, for these 15 no's. I'm going to be like, booyah, I got you. I got you. 15 no's all at once. 3 no's. 5, send me more info. Because she took the expectation off of people's foreheads. People are not dollar signs. They're not like, we're not saying yes to get them to sell a challenge pack. We're inviting them because they have the opportunity to change their life. And if you don't believe fully that this can change their life, listen to my story. Re-listen to this recording. This can change your life. Fitness and nutrition saved me. I now get to pay that forward, and I get to do it in a way that I've created. I earn 15 times more than any boss ever paid me. When I got started, I almost quit. Can you imagine? I can't, because that's crazy. Don't give up on yourselves. Because even if it takes you 10 years to get to where I am, that is an amazing life. Go for no. Let other people make that decision. Don't make it for them. Number 4, and we kind of talked about this already, but I'm going to say it again. Take care of yourself. That is your job. Do your workout, drink your shake, personal development. And the reason why I'm saying take care of yourself is because the other thing that I see in this business is people get so wrapped up in getting other people started and inviting and adding to their network and posting to social media and doing all things social that they don't actually take time to enjoy taking care of themselves. They don't make that time. All of a sudden they start gaining weight and they're like, oh, I've just been doing my business. Now it's not going anywhere and I'm struggling and it's harder and I don't enjoy it and I don't want to do it anymore. And they blame it on the business when the answer is right there. Take care of yourself. That's your job. That's our job. It's important for your clients to see. It's important for your coaches, for your family, your friends, your kids. You're leading by example for all of those people, which is so amazing. You guys have an incredible job. But you got to take care of you to be able to pour into other people. My last one, number 5. This is my favorite. Actually, they're all my favorite, but this one's my favorite because I completely came up with this on my own. And I'm like, just one day I was on a team training call and just blurted it out. And I'm like, where did that come from? It wasn't from a bunch of personal development that's floating around in my head for 7 years. Be here in 4 years. And when I say be here in 4 years, I will explain why. One, when I say be here in 4 years, it doesn't mean, oh, I've been a coach for 4 years. Be here showing up every single week, adding to your network, inviting, drinking your shake, doing your workouts, posting to social every single week, 4 years. And here's my reasoning behind this 4-year thing. I went to college to get a 4-year degree. How many of you guys went to college for a 4-year degree? And it's okay if you didn't. I have people who dropped out of college, who got kicked out of college, who are some of the most successful coaches on my team. So nothing wrong, but bear with me on this, this thing. So 4-year degree. I worked probably about 50, 60 hours a week getting my 4-year college degree. Society told me that was great and that was okay, and that I could devote 60 hours a week to getting a piece of paper to go in debt $100,000. When I graduated in 4 years with that certificate, that piece of paper, that $100,000 in debt, that was my 4-year college degree. And people are like, that's not a scam, that's real. And it's not a scam. I'm not saying it's a scam, but people don't bat an eyelash that we pay $100,000+ to go to college to get out of college in debt. Now, mind you, where I lived, it's a very expensive part of California, San Luis Obispo, central coast of California. It's really high price to live there. But if you were to move to San Francisco, which is also costly to live, they'll pay you double the amount of what they would pay in San Luis, because San Luis is such a destination area and it's so small, and all of these educated people come out of college that don't want to leave, so they underpay you by like 50%. So out of college, $100,000 in debt, they are paying me $30,000 a year to start. Disgusting, gross. I'm like, my brother who didn't even graduate high school is making $50,000 a year by now because he worked for 4 years. Like, this is awful. I had to postpone my student loans, which is how I found coaching, because I couldn't pay for them. So why is it that we're okay giving that amount of effort to go in debt? But then we start a business and we're like, oh, 15 to 20 hours a week, and I don't see results in my first 6 months, 2 months, 1 month. So I'm going to put this on the back burner because it's not giving me the results that I expect. We overestimate what we can do in a year, underestimate what we can do in 4 years. And so when I started, I looked at this business as, this is my Beachbody degree. I am going to be a student of success. I am going to learn from every successful person that has gone before me. I'm going to listen to every national wake-up call. I listen to a national wake-up call to and from work every single day, 2 national wake-up calls a day. Because I was like, what else can I learn? What can I pick up? So when I'm in a conversation, I'll have more confidence when talking to that person. And I am going to invite every week. And I say week because I don't invite every day. I do kind of bulk inviting where I invite a bunch of people Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and spending the rest of the week like following up with everyone. But I have goals for the week. On the business trackers, they used to be where they had a column of your goals for the week. So I just look at everything for the week. So that way, if I'm busy one day and don't get to inviting, I can still hit my weekly goals. I'm still getting closer to my big, hairy, scary goals. So be here in 4 years, giving it your all for 4 years, because we do it for a college degree to go in. Wouldn't we do it for a business that has insane upside potential without all that debt? And that's it. Those are my 5 tips. Does anyone have any questions?
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. I really, if anybody has any questions, you can either ask Kristi, or you can type it in the type message here. I had to flip my page, Kristi, because I had so many notes. First of all, thank you for sharing your story. Because I think you're so right. Everybody sees it and everybody thinks they have their shit together, right? Like, oh, she's got her shit together. Well, if I was like her, then I could do what she, no. Everybody has their own monkeys in their own circus.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, always. But the thing is as you overcome them, you get stronger and more confident. So now when like a struggle comes my way, when last year was a year that wasn't as much of a success as I wanted, I immediately was like, okay, I can figure this out. I want to take ownership. I want to come back even stronger. And I did so with confidence. It wasn't something that tore me down because I had gone through so much crap these last 14 years, through my depression, through my job. I didn't even get into that. My job was crazy. My boss was insane. I'd gone through all these things that through every struggle, I look at a struggle and I'm like, all right, bring it on. Let's do this. Because once I get through you and figure you out, I'm going to be more confident. I'm going to know how to overcome more. And I get to turn around and show somebody else how to overcome it too.
Love it. And I totally agree with that. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think my favorite. There were so many things. I have stars on everything. I was like, I'll star this one. I love how your very first one was be you. And I think it's so important because success leaves clues, and it's so important for us to learn and help each other in this business. But at the same time, that can easily get people derailed and squirreled and thinking that, oh, well, Susie Q so-and-so does this on Instagram, so I should do that on Instagram, and then wondering why they're not connecting with their tribe. And I just talked about this in my Emerald group last night, and I talked about, do you ever remember having a crush on that boy or girl, and you pretended you were somebody else so that they would ask you on a date, and then you went on the date, and then you were like, oh God, I'm not that person. And I have to try to be that person in order for them to like me. No, that's not how a relationship is built. And so being you has to be totally authentic. Like, we can learn tools and tricks and ideas from other people, but we have to make them our own. Like I always say, don't be a cookie cutter coach. Right? So that being your number one, I was like, oh girl, you got it right. And I mean, I love that you're not afraid to say who you are. Do like, be like, this is my dog with its tongue licking his eyeball. Like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a crazy, photoshopped, it's you.
Yeah. The other day I posted, it was like a quick video because California was 70 degrees one day and then snowing the next. Super weird. And so I posted a video like 6 seconds outside, like, California, you're drunk.
Yeah.
Like that was it. People were like, oh my gosh, this is the weather here. So just like the things that pop into my head, don't second guess, like, is a person going to like this? I have to write it perfectly. My writing sucks. I just write in a way that I speak. So that way when coaches, just like you were just saying, when a coach gets started, the language they've heard me speak publicly on social media is exactly what they get on the phone and behind the scenes and on a Zoom with me. So they're like, we connect, we get it. And I do have coaches on my team that still struggle with that. I've heard one of my coaches, one of my leaders actually was telling another coach, yeah, I just post what I think people want to hear. But yet she can't figure out why she doesn't have builders on her team. And it's because she posts what they want to hear. Everybody thinks her social media is amazing. But then once people actually join her, that's not what they're getting behind the scenes. It's a totally different person. So nobody really is getting to connect with her. And don't worry about people unfriending you or not being in your tribe. You want that. If people are unfriending you or blocking you or running away, great, because those aren't your people. And when you are your true self, you allow those people that do want to connect with you and that will connect with you to love you harder. Like, for example, I have a potty mouth. One of my greatest coaches on the team, she does not like cussing. We don't connect on the potty mouth, right? Like, and so I'm always, if she's on a video and I cuss, I'm like, sorry, but because I love her and I know that's something that's super important to her to not speak that way. But we connect on so many other things. We connect on she had an eating disorder. I didn't have like a full-fledged eating disorder, but I tried everything, and so we connect on that because I shared about those things. She connected with those things and she's recovered from that. So we can speak about body image disorders and issues like that so openly. And that's what we connect on. So even though like you as a full person might not connect with every single person out there, you don't want to. Because when you share those deeper parts of you and exactly like who you are, people that love you so much harder because they get to know you better.
And they know in a social media society where a lot of people aren't putting their genuine self out there, that you are. And that's a rarity. And
yeah, I even post about that because it pisses me off that there's so many people on social media that they make it seem like they're so motivational and so put together. And then you meet them behind the scenes and they're like a wreck all the time. I literally am as confident as I am on this call, like confidence, know who I am. That's who I am. Behind the scenes, I'm not upset and yelling or screaming. Like yesterday, I couldn't even tell you all the crap that happened in my business from one thing to the other, like just problems. But I'm so level-headed with them now because I've overcome so many struggles that like that stuff doesn't ruin my day. And I talk about that publicly. So when other people are faking it, it really pisses me off. So I post about it.
I love it. So I post. I think my husband's listening in, Kristi, and he's like, oh God, she's going to be posting about a lot more now after her call. Oh my gosh. I'm going to look through here right quick. I think, yeah, we're definitely the cussing team here. If anybody ever meets me in public, my gosh, I think my middle name is F. But that's why when you said, do you mind cussing? I don't know if you thought, I'm like, go for it.
There was a question.
Yeah.
She said, I love how you said to use what pisses you off for posts. Do you do that delicately or let your feelings show? So I let my feelings show, but I make sure that I'm not like attacking someone. Does that make sense? Like, so I come at it, like, because it does piss me off, I come at it from an angle of, I'm trying to think of one recently. I haven't had any good ones this week. I say something that pisses me off. I'm trying to think right now. Well, the quick fixes, for example, I will go and I will share my story and I'll be like, here's a picture of me from 2013. Here's a picture of 2017. No patches, no pills, no pink drink, no quick fixes. This is consistency to my fitness and nutrition. It was hard when I started, but now it's become easy. Choose your hard or something, so that I would put a lot more thought into it. I'm just kind of coming up with something off the top of my head, but I use it to share what I'm for and what I'm against without ranting and putting another person down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Without saying the names, without saying this sucks, this doesn't, what I have, you're just saying that stuff doesn't work. I did this. This is what I believe in, da, 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 da. And I don't believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So yeah, not hiding behind it, but not being
ranty, I guess.
Ranty. Yeah, not being ranty. Yeah. That's a great question, Miss Jessie. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm glad you asked that too, because one of the things you want to realize is you don't necessarily want to attract those people that are just like negative people, right? Who, how if there's like a negative post on social media, all of a sudden everybody's chiming in and it's just full of like people that are spending their time diving in on that negative post. Like, I don't need that in my life. We are who we surround ourselves with. So I am careful with like, if I'm posting something, I want people to see what I stand for. I use it as a way to share, like the things that piss me off, I use it as a way to share my values. Right.
Right. How would you, here's another one. How would you, she had somebody on her social media today putting down MLMs. Could you give an example of how you would respond to that?
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. So I would do a live video, and I know live videos are super uncomfortable, but I think that that's such a loaded topic that it's really hard to get in one post. But I would go live and I would share about network marketing and what it is. And for me, something I always share when it comes to MLMs is if if your teachers, if all of your high school and elementary school teachers all got a percentage of your future earnings, do you think you would have gotten a better education? Heck yes, right? And that is how I look at network marketing. I make more than the person that brought me in. This isn't a pyramid. When I think of pyramid structures are the corporate world, what I worked in before. I was never going to make more than my boss. He was never going to make more than his boss unless somebody got fired or quit and we moved up the ladder, right? The pyramid. There's nothing wrong with a pyramid, but I just didn't want to be stuck at the bottom until somebody got fired or died or quit. Right? And so by coming into network marketing, I am able to move to the top, surpass people that are above me. So therefore the pyramid thing goes out the window because that's not possible in a pyramid. But your coaches aren't earning income off of you unless you are successful. And even then, once you're successful, they're getting matching bonuses. There's a thing called team bonuses. Team bonuses, you get to earn from other people on the team. You know, my coaches get to earn from the coaches that I sign up after them that are placed underneath them. So I would share all these different things that people don't necessarily understand. But the biggest thing for me with network marketing is that it's not perfect. Nothing is ever perfect, but it's better because I literally, I sit here and think of how can I get everyone to my success level? How can I pour everything that's in my head from the last 7 years into their brains? And the only way is through action. I can give you tips tonight. You can take action on some of them or not take action, right? But hopefully you take action on just one so that you get a little bit more confident. And then next week you hear something else on another training. You take action on that and you get a little more confident. That's all I've done for 7 years. I don't miss a week of inviting, adding to my network, posting to social because my dreams and goals are so big that I can't afford to lose a week.
Cheers! Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. I love it. Do you mostly go live on Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook. I'm just getting on the Instagram. If you guys follow me, my Instagram is okay. It's Kristi Lynn _fitness. I'm not very good at Insta stories, and I don't think I've ever gone live over there. I should. I have a whole plan that I've implemented this week for Instagram that I'm taking action on, but I'll get better.
What was I going to say? Advice that you would give. Facebook page or do you use your Facebook page or your Facebook personal?
I use my personal. So I created a page probably about year 3 or year 4 to start doing Facebook ads. Facebook ads, I've tried for years. They're still not working. So I just don't do it. I just do my personal page. I still post. I have my Instagram. When I post to Instagram, it feeds to my page because there are, I think, 12 or 13,000 followers, but it get 4 or 5 likes. Not many people are seeing it. And that's just because I'm not focused and I don't have intent behind that page. I just love my personal page. I love being able to message people. I love being able to know that I'm friends with them. They're friends with me. I love being able to send birthday messages to them. For my systems, it just works better for me to build relationships on my personal page.
Me too. What was I going to say? And that's what I say to people. If you have a system that's working for you, stick with it. If it's not, don't feel like you have to because other people are. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I used to have a coach who just rocked Twitter. I don't even know what that is. Okay.
I tried Twitter for a year and I had one person sign up. I will tell you guys, I never give up. I will try things forever. I put so much time into Twitter. I never got it.
Oh, I just signed up so I could spy on my son, right? He was complaining about us on Twitter, so I had to sign up for Twitter. What advice would you give a coach whose upline tells them to just copy what top coaches are doing? So obviously for you.
Yeah. So, in the beginning, I copied coaches. I totally did. I went to people's pages and I tell my new coaches, go to my page, go to other pages on the team, see what we're posting about. If it resonates with you, copy, edit it, make it your own, put your own voice behind it. That's really how I learned how to have my own voice. And then one day I just realized, wait, I have these words in my head. like I have opinions, and I started writing those down. Like, take a notebook out tonight, and I would write in your notebook, what are things I stand for? What are things I stand against? And start going through it. Because, something I honestly stand against is the fitness industry. I love it and I hate it. I hate it because everybody is preying on quick fixes out there, because people do want immediate gratification, and they will spend everything to not have to work. And it's so frustrating. And so for me, that's something that I'm really, really passionate about, right? I'm also, and I just kind of started realizing this recently, I'm really passionate about nutrition deficiencies. So many people are walking around nutrient deficient and can't realize why they're not losing weight, because they're not getting nutrients in their body. They're on some low calorie diet. That fires me up, because we have such an incredible solution in Shakeology, right? So that's just something I've realized over the years. So there's little things, and you'll start to realize them as you see what other people are posting on social media. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I wouldn't say to follow the top coaches necessarily. I would follow some coaches that are maybe a little less at the top. Because I remember when I was a new coach, I copied a post and edited it, and then the person like yelled at me. And I was like, oh man, I wasn't trying to offend you. I'll delete it. So I would say, go out there. It doesn't necessarily even need to be a coach. I would go find somebody on social media that's not a coach, in fact, that is someone that you really resonate with. What do they post about? Because you're going to have a similar vibe to them, right? If it, all of a sudden you find someone on Instagram, you're like, this girl's awesome. 1, you should invite her. But 2, follow her posts. What is she posting about, or he posting about, that really speaks to you, that you can mimic and make your own? And through that, you start to find your voice. It wasn't something that I like wrote down, be me. Okay, what are all the things that I am? And I just had it. Like, I'm constantly realizing new things that pop into my head that I'm passionate about, right? Or that fire me up. And it's from taking action. So don't overthink it. I mean, go find follow coaches, see what they're posting about. The stuff that I like to look at for other coaches and what they're posting about is what calls to action are working for them. Not necessarily the personal post, because that's them. Like, I want to post in my own words, but those calls to action, sometimes seeing somebody else's gets me like super inspired to create my own. But I will tell you, one of the only ads that ever worked for me on social media, on Facebook, was a post that I wrote. And it was me speaking how it was with 21 Day Fix, when 21 Day Fix came out. And I said, for the cost of 2 to 3 personal training sessions, you will get, and then I listed, 21 days of workouts. What else was there? Like nutrition plan, flexible to fit your dietary needs. 30 meals delivered directly to your door of my favorite meal of the day, a coach for support, a community to help keep you accountable and on track. And I posted this as an ad, and it worked. I got 10 new customers for an entire 2 years from that ad every single month. It was amazing. I created it myself. I didn't copy it from somebody else, because it was in my words. So I was naturally attracting people out there that spoke my language, that understood that post.
Nice. Yeah. Which speaks to everything that you were talking about, which is great, right? Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I think that's awesome. I think that's, oh my gosh, we've taken up a whole hour of your time.
Oh, you guys are fine.
Thank you so much for doing this Q&A for us afterwards.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, of course.
Thank you for being here.
Yes. Oh, one more thing. It takes 10,000 times to be great at something, guys. 10,000. And I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, okay, how many people does that mean that I have to invite to be great? Like, I literally, this went through my head. I'm just a numbers person. So I was like, 10,000 times to be great. Okay, I've been a coach for 7 years. So 365 times 7 is 2,555. I would have to invite 4 people per day in 7 years to be great at inviting.
Absolutely.
I wanted to be great much faster than that. So I upped those numbers to like 10 to 15 to 20 a day, because I was like, I need to get better at this whole conversation thing. just because I didn't have confidence in my conversations with people. Because when I started, as soon as I started, I started sounding like a salesperson when I would talk with someone. We didn't have all the scripts. There's so many amazing scripts in our Coach Online office and everything now. When I started, none of that was ever. We didn't have challenge groups. We didn't have challenge packs. We didn't have scripts. We didn't have coach training. So my messages to people were like, hey, I just became a coach. Want to buy P90X?
Yeah.
They're so bad. So I promise your guys' invites are not worse than mine. But I knew that like through time I'd get better. And I remember sitting back and going, okay, this doesn't feel so good. These are really bad messages. They make me feel icky. Like I got to figure out how to just like talk to people. But I just kept doing it and learning how to talk to people, how to have those conversations. So I know inviting for a lot of newer coaches is the scariest part. It is the most fun part for me now because I know that's the first step to changing someone's life.
Wow, that's profound because that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Right? And I always say to people, imagine if the person who invited you to this opportunity, to that challenge group, let fear stand in their way that day. Where would you be right now?
I know. Oh.
Where would you be? Like you said, where would you be if you had put in that? When I see those coach and you know, coach cancellations, and guys, they come all the time. They come all the time. Oh. Right? You see them come in, and I'm like, they are going to regret that. I don't take it personally. I'm sure the people in the downline don't either, but it's just, you hate to see people give up on themselves before they've even started to try. Right? Yeah. So I love that.
But just be here in 4 years, because I will tell you, I just had a coach. She signed up with me in 2012. A friend of mine quit by 2013, just signed back up at the end of 2017. She went, she got Success Starters, went from Emerald in February to Ruby to Diamond to Team Builder. And her next goal is Team Leader in February. Amazing, right? She quit back in 2013. Here's another thing. What if I would have quit because of her? So oftentimes somebody quits or gives up, and the first thing we think about is, oh, we can't do this. We can't do this? Why are we taking advice from somebody that gave up on themselves? Why are we letting someone who gave up on themselves affect our mental stability here, right? Like my thing is I want to surround myself with people who are living life at a higher game so I can live life at a higher game. I can't do that if I'm taking advice and following what those people that are giving up on themselves are doing.
Absolutely. Oh my God, I love that. I've got chills. I don't know how I'm ever going to get to sleep after this.
This is why I can't, like, this is for our team. I have to do team calls early because if I don't sleep, I'm like so fired up.
I love it. I can't thank you enough. I cannot thank you enough for being here, for your time, for your knowledge, for your passion, for just sharing everything you shared with us. I know I'm going to listen to this call, the recording, a gazillion times. And I know we're like, let's give it all like this, guys, to thank her for being here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll chat soon. I'm going to have feedback from this, and I'll pass it right on to you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, guys.
Love ya.